The following show is a Pod Avenue production. You are cordially invited to have dinner with the King. Pull up a chair and join WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler and Glenn Moore. Enjoy.
It's episode number 82 of Dinner with the King. I'm Glenn Moore, joined here by the host with the most, WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler.
That may be the worst introduction ever when you introduce somebody as the host with the most. What does that even mean?
You have I don't know, goes with talent, I think.
No, you've heard somebody else say that somewhere. The host with the most.
Yeah, I heard it around radio.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing though.
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
But it could mean the most what?
The host with the most.
Do I need a penicillin shot or something like that, or what is it?
It's a good thing.
I can't. We're getting close to Valentine's Day, and I read a great line. I think Rodney Dangerfield said it one time or something. He said, "I'll never forget Valentine's Day when my girlfriend gave me a heart-shaped rash."
Ooh. Jesus. Trying to see where the origin of host with the most.
Oh man, now he's on his computer, folks. This could be a while.
It's like, well, there's a hostess with the mostest. It just means that you're a good host, I guess. I don't know. You're a good host. That means you're a good host.
You're the host.
We're co-hosts.
Oh,
this is your show. No one listens for me.
Well, some people do. As a matter of fact, I was down at the club, down at my Jerry Lawler's Hall of Fame Bar and Grill down on Beale Street this past Monday night, the day after Royal Rumble, and there was a meeting. Matter of fact, they had rented out the entire club. A bunch of salespeople from Northwest Arkansas, well, all over the state of Arkansas actually, and Southern Missouri, and these guys were they were salesmen for agricultural. Oh gosh, what do you call it? Products, that they sell to farmers to put on their crops and make the crops grow better and stronger and all this kind of stuff. And they buy a lot of products from my partner Barry Aycock of Ag Explorer, but these guys were from a different company. Started with an R, I can't remember. But anyway, one of the guys there, his name was Scotty. So hey, Scotty, I'm talking about you right now. Friends, he's so into wrestling. His friends call him Scotty Too Hottie, but he's a salesman and goes out and visits with all the farmers. But he hadn't talked to me for such a long time. He knew everything you would have to know about wrestling. But he was a big fan of our podcast, and he was hoping that you would be there.
Me?
He said he mentioned you by name. He was hoping that you would be there with me on the on the appearance down at the club.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't go, Scotty, but this is Jerry Lawler. They didn't pay my appearance fee, which is $10.
$10.
You want to book me for your birthday? It's $10.
Hey, what's your price on your cameos now?
It's still $10. I haven't done the introduction video. I haven't.
You got to do an introduction video.
I know.
For people out there that don't know, I don't even know. I wouldn't know how to tell somebody how to go about buying a cameo. But there's this cameo company that has hundreds or maybe thousands. I can't tell you how many celebrities that work for this cameo company. But people you would never believe. And if you get in touch with them, what is it? Maybe cameo.com or something?
Yeah, cameo.com. I mean, your link is cameo.com/Jer Lawler.
Jer Lawler?
Jer Lawler.
That's like my email address. Jer Lawler. I don't care. But anyway, yeah, so this cameo.com, you go to it and you check it out, and there are hundreds of celebrities, and then you can you pay whatever their cameo fee is, and then you get a personal message from them on your over your phone.
You provide the script.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. I mean, you just you give them some idea what
Right.
you want them to talk about, or just say hi, or however it is. But yeah, so I've done what? I've done like almost 50 of them already, and I've just been on there a short time.
And the 4.9 stars.
What? It did not go down to 4.9.
Jerry is so obsessed with the star rating. It's 5.0.
Okay, yeah.
If it was like
I want a
4
5-star rating.
If it was like a 4.99 repeating, Jerry would be very upset.
I would not do another cameo.
What?
I've made somebody mad with my cameos. But no, they're fun. But I love one of the other guys. Tommy Lee is on there, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
If you ever want the funniest, I think you could go to cameo.com and just check out some of the different people's cameos that they've done.
Yeah, there's a whole list of wrestlers.
Yeah.
If someone's looking for an early birthday present, Paige is on there.
Oh, gosh. How many times have you bought a birthday message
broke.
from Paige?
It's like we're texting back and forth. $100 a text.
I believe that. That's true. Bret the Hitman Hart's on there.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of wrestlers on there. But Tommy Lee's got to be my all-time favorite. If you wanted to get, you can just pay and get cussed out by Tommy Lee. I mean, you can ask him to wish you a happy birthday, and he'll like cuss you out.
You could be like,
happy effing birthday. Have a great effing day.
You'd be like, I just got baptized. Oh, happy.
Yeah, happy effing baptism. But anyway, so much for cameos. But so you haven't done any. You got to do your. I got
to do my video, but you have yours. Yours is up and running. Cameo. Just search Jerry Lawler cameo. It'll take the link to Jerry's if you want a personalized video from Jerry. And Jerry goes up and beyond.
Yeah, I do. Most guys just grab their phone and will hold it up
in
and
their
do
car.
like a selfie thing.
This woke up.
Yeah,
they're laying in bed.
Yeah, I do a little production value in mine. I have somebody else film it, and it's a
Yeah. So what's your price?
I don't know, $100.
Yeah, $100.
Yeah, that's very reasonable.
That's reasonable. Definitely reasonable for what you put into it.
Yeah, and there's guys. I mean, athletes. Brett Favre is on there.
Yeah, $500.
You got to pay $500 for a cameo for Brett Favre.
Yeah, Brett Favre.
Wow. What about Joe Thomas? The one that you got him to do me one for nothing.
For nothing.
What is Joe's charge?
I think his is like $100.
Yeah, that's good. I think $100 is that's.
Well, it depends on who you are.
It's not out of the question.
I think you should charge a little more. So, like 150 would be perfect.
You think?
Those are the mystery boxes.
Hey, the mystery boxes, man. We worked yesterday all day long. It seemed like on mystery boxes.
Well, those are out.
They're done. They're ready to be shipped out in the morning. So if
Tomorrow,
you're out there,
Blake,
if you're out there waiting for your mystery box, they're going out in the mail tomorrow. Jim Blake will be taking them, trudging
and
over.
Photos too.
And photos are on the way out as well.
You got like 11 photo orders. You got like mystery boxes all over the place.
Whew.
Those are going out tomorrow, Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday morning.
Unless it just freezes up here. Blake can't make it in. What about, man, you were just telling me your parents up in Cleveland, Ohio are frozen up, right?
Pipes are frozen, yeah. I mean, it's like -5 for a high.
You mean 5 below zero?
Jerry got out and he's like, if you're going to be in the South here, Glenn, you got to speak like people in the South. And I say -5. And
No,
Jerry,
in the South you say it's 5 below, 5 below zero.
okay, well.
They don't say -5.
Jerry, you're going to be in the South. You got to speak like people.
Right.
Or it's like Peyton said, Glenn, you want some pop or something?
Oh, yeah, no. You say pop. We don't say
Yeah.
pop in the South.
Yeah, sorry.
You say what you want. You want a Coke? Want a Coca-Cola?
I feel like I'm like a
pop.
person from like Mexico having to come to the United States. I have to learn English in the United States. When I come to Tennessee,
Well, when I went up to Cleveland, when we moved up to Cleveland, I was confused. When somebody said, you want a pop, I thought they were going to slap me.
You want to pop?
Pow.
Pow.
I think that's what my mom used to say as a kid growing up.
God.
I'd say something. She says, you want a pop? I was in the face.
Yeah, Coke, please. Well, what do you say? I want a Coke?
Yeah. And you say Coke for anything. For Pepsi, for Dr. Pepper, you just say, I want a Coke.
Well, what if you want Dr. Pepper?
Well, then you do have to say Dr. Pepper. Okay. But you say Coke, whether it's Coke or Pepsi. That's why some restaurants they'll ask you, we have Pepsi products. Is that okay?
Pepsi products.
I said, no, I want Coke.
Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a couple weeks since our last episode. A lot has happened. I mean, you're on vacation for a whole week in Florida. In between,
very nice, man. We went. It was cold everywhere up in the north, and we went down to Florida. It's 82 degrees in Fort Myers the first day we got there. Beautiful.
Sanibel Island.
Sanibel Island. Went over to Sanibel. Did some shelling. It was great, man. There's this one beach right between Sanibel and Captiva Islands, and it's just you go out there. It's just completely covered. It's like no sand. It's just solid shells. I mean, that's how many shells just roll up all the time. And the first time I ever took Lauren down there, she just couldn't believe it. She just sat down and took a picture of her sitting right, on this mound of shells.
Like a mermaid.
Yeah, it's sort of like a mermaid. Yeah. So anyway, we redid that picture just like almost 10 years later. We went back to the same spot, shells. We was up and down the beach for like 2 hours just shelling. It's a great way. I'm the worst on wanting to lay out. I love to get a tan, but I don't like to lay out. So that's the best place to go if you want to get a tan and not just lay there and suffer through the boredom of laying out. So we walk up and down the beach and looking for different kind of shells and that sort of stuff.
So, like I said, well, you had a fun time vacation. You're gone for the whole week. This is a sandwich between appearances because you literally had to get off the plane, get on a plane, and go to Phoenix for our Rumble.
Yes.
But before that, we didn't do a show since your appearance on Monday Night Raw in Memphis, which was a couple weeks ago. And
yeah, that was a show that was kind of the build up, almost the go home show for the Royal Rumble, and it was kind of neat. We've talked about this before. I never know if they're going to call me or not to come down and do something to be a part of Raw. And so, sure enough, I get a call, and they said, we got something we'd like for you to do. And so when I got, you were there. You walked in with me, right?
Yeah, I was right with you.
So as we come down the bottom of FedEx Forum, and there was Vince. As soon as we get out of the car, we're walking up, and we're still down in the parking area of FedEx Forum, and there was Vince and standing in front of his limousine, right? And they're talking, and we see all these camera people out there and everything. And so anyway, apparently they were getting ready to shoot something for the show, and I walked up to Vince, and he saw me coming up. He came around, gave me a big hug, and I hadn't seen Vince in a long time, actually. Talking to him probably since I think Brian passed away, and so he gave me a big hug, and he was all excited. He said it was like it had to be his idea because that's how excited he was. He said, "We got a great thing we want you to do tonight." And I was saying, "Okay, what's that?" And he said, "Oh, you're going to be, you're going to be coming out of my office right after we tell everybody that there's going to be probably a new member or new person in the Royal Rumble, or a new person to go against Brock Lesnar, right?" And he said, then all of a sudden the door's going to open to my office, and you're going to be coming out, and he said should get a huge pop, and everybody will think that you're the guy that's going to be going against Brock Lesnar. So I thought, yeah, that's cool. And it worked out perfect.
Yeah.
It was really kind of a very short. What was I on there? 10 seconds maybe?
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I came out of the door, I'm turning around to Vince. Said, "Don't worry, Vince, I won't let you down." But then all of a sudden, this Congo music starts playing, and there was the whole Congo line going by, and I'm just like going, "Look, what the heck is this?"
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd actually seen those guys.
You got a good pop though. The crowd went wild.
Good pop.
I mean, it had
cheap pop. That's a cheap pop because you're in Memphis and they show me. That's cheap pop.
Well, you and John Cena had the biggest pops of the night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's because of Memphis.
But still, that's a good pop.
Yeah, that's always.
He had a good pop. We went to the Royal Rumble, but he had a good pop at the Royal Rumble too.
Really good pop at the Royal Rumble.
A couple Jerry chants.
Yep, really good.
I mean, that's good. That's not Memphis. That's Arizona.
Yeah.
Phoenix. So, so backstage at Raw, we saw Vince, saw Hunter, Triple H was there.
Yeah, sure
I got to meet Vince cordially for the first time.
Yes, that was your first. You
Shook his hand.
get all the crumbs falling off my table. Just right there to grab them.
I don't get in the way. I just stay off to the side. If you want to introduce me, it's
you don't
great.
get in the way. Are you kidding?
Come on. But no, you said, "Oh, this is my podcast." My friend, my podcast co-host.
Richard Dreyfuss would have
Richard Dreyfuss.
whether you get in the way or not.
He's still alive? He's still kicking?
I don't know. After you jammed him in the side of that elevator up in Louisville,
Broke his nose.
you're standing there to me saying, "There's Richard Dreyfuss right behind me." I look around and say, "Yeah, you're kind of smashed against the elevator with your backpack."
Well, you should have been standing there.
But anyway, no, you don't get in the way. You got to meet Vince. You got to meet Triple H. There.
I've met him before.
But you did get to meet someone very special, didn't you? No, you had met Ronda Rousey before too.
Yeah, I met Ronda Rousey before. I actually had a chance to hang out with her for multiple hours. We had.
Oh yeah, that's right. She chopped you once before.
She chopped me twice. We had some beers together. Got to tell her that that she's my celebrity crush and everything. She was great. She was great.
Yeah. Well, why didn't you mention the fact that now your celebrity crush has changed from Ronda Rousey to Paige?
Well, no, Paige is just like a favorite female wrestler.
Oh, okay. Ronda's still your favorite?
Heck yeah.
Celebrity crush?
Yeah. Okay. So was there backstage at Raw? You brought Ronda over.
I brought Ronda over. I introduced her to my son Kevin and you again.
She remembered me. She did remember me from the time in Cleveland.
Did. She remembered the chops.
Yeah.
And she was very nice, wasn't she? I mean, I haven't had a chance to hang around Ronda at all, really. I mean, just met her a couple times, but not really even have a chance to really speak to her at all. But at Raw in Memphis, she was very, very nice. I got to introduce her to John Putt and his wife and daughter, a friend of mine, and she just couldn't have been nicer.
She was great.
Yeah.
She's probably the coolest celebrity I've met in my life.
Really?
Other than you, of course.
Oh, okay. What about some of the Comic Cons? You met some Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, up close and personal.
Oh yeah,
I guess. We want to call it up close and personal.
Yeah, he smashed his nose in.
But no, Rozzie's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was fun. That was fun being at Raw and just hanging out, especially hanging out in catering.
Yeah,
good food, always good food.
Yeah, it was all right.
What do you mean, all right?
Chicken was a little cold.
Oh my God!
Even you said the chicken was a little cold.
Beggars can't be choosers, man.
That's true.
You know what?
That's
amazing. The WWE spends. A lot of people don't. I'll tell people this sometimes. They spend $20,000 a day on every Monday and every Tuesday.
Oh my God!
For catering.
I mean, they have steaks.
Yeah, I mean, it starts early in the morning with. They start with breakfast, go through lunch, and all the way through dinner, and it's every kind of amazing food and they do try to, it's sometimes like Memphis, they hit some barbecue stuff, and they'll do, if they're in the Southwest, some Southwestern fare and everything. But anyway, it's always a lot of food for a lot of guys, a lot of people. So $20,000 a day just for catering.
Jeez. Whew. We were standing there in catering, and someone walked by. You didn't even recognize who they were. You didn't see them. He slapped you on the back as you walked by.
Well, yeah, and I glanced around, and I just saw this big head of hair, and I didn't even realize who it was. And you said, "Why didn't you say hi to John Cena?" Yeah. What?
I didn't see him. Can't see him.
Did not even realize that was John.
Oh, the hair.
He looks so different with that hair like that.
Looks like JB. I swear he looks like JBL. It's ridiculous. But who else? Well, we sat next to Lacey Evans in catering.
Lacey Evans, yeah. That was
NXT.
my first time meeting her. You too as well.
Yeah,
right? She's
NXT call-up.
Yeah.
She was in the Rumble.
Talked to her for a long time.
Yeah. Well, she was sitting there. She didn't know what she was going to do.
What an amazing background that young lady has had. You'd never believe it just by looking at her. I mean, she was in the Marines and like I don't know, it's almost like a SWAT team type thing. Kind
of like the SWAT team of the Marines. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's badass.
She's showing me pictures of her holding these big AK-47s and all these things and stuff. She should probably make a name for herself. She's a tough customer, I believe.
Very tough. She was in the Rumble. She was number one.
Yeah.
In the Rumble. But Memphis was great. Great to see you back on the screen. A lot of great reaction. You were trending on Twitter. You were number 6.
Worldwide
on Twitter.
When I showed up coming out of Vince's office, a lot of people were thinking, what? The King's going to be the guy that's going to... It was great because the people that didn't see it, the scene was Braun Strowman had flipped over Vince's limousine, destroyed it, turned it over on his top. So Vince threw him out of the match, the big title match at Royal Rumble, and was going to replace him with somebody there Monday night at Raw. And so it comes time that after that happened, the camera's in the back, and there's this long line of all the wrestlers are lined up at Vince's door. They're apparently wanting to go in and be, volunteer to be the guy to go against Brock Lesnar in the championship match. And there's panning down all this group of wrestlers, and then boom, it comes to the Vince's door, and the door opens, and I would come walking out. And like you said, the pop, and I think a lot of people say, what? The King is going to be wrestling Brock Lesnar?
Oh, my God.
I would not want to wrestle Brock Lesnar, I can assure you that.
You can't take 13 suplexes in a row?
I probably could, but I wouldn't want to.
Wouldn't want to. 5 F5s.
Oh, my gosh. How many times did he give F5s to poor...
to Finn?
No, not to Finn. Last night,
Seth
Monday
Rollins.
Night, Seth Rollins. I think that may have been a record number of.
It was
F5s.
5. It was definitely 5.
Has anybody taken 5 in a row before?
I don't. I think Cena maybe did at the SummerSlam where Lesnar squashed Cena like 2013, 14ish or something. But I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
All right, so fast forward to the Rumble.
Rumble was cool, man.
In Phoenix.
Yep.
You were on the pre-show for an hour, and then you called the men's Royal Rumble. But first,
well, the cool thing before we get into that was just it was at Chase Field, in Phoenix, which is the Arizona Diamondbacks baseball stadium, And everybody was talking about the fact that it felt like a WrestleMania because that stadium seemed enormous. I mean, they said, I guess it seats close to 50,000 for baseball, 48,000, something like that. But it looked as big as a WrestleMania venue. When there was nobody in there at first, and you're walking around looking at the place, and I'm thinking, wow. And it was funny. The backstage area was different than most arenas or stadiums where we'd have WrestleMania. The rooms were kind of small and different things like that, and the catering was set up. You had to go up an elevator, a couple floors. Then there was a catering room, and then once you got your food at catering, you had to go into the press box to eat your food.
Yeah.
So all the everybody was, it was like no tables. You were sitting at the long. I don't know if anybody's ever been in a press box at a baseball stadium. Yeah. You just sit side by side all the way down in there. So I mean, I'm sitting in one seat and it's like 20 or 30 yards down is, the people just all sitting beside each other. So that was unusual. And then when you get up there and you're sitting eating and catering, just, gosh, the place looked enormous. It was like you're looking down on what would have been home plate, on the baseball field, and then that's where it was back of ringside, and then all the way up to the ring. Whew, it was a big place.
The pre-show, you had a couple of nice Jerry chants from the crowd that was surrounding.
Well, that was another cool thing about the I guess we were in the outfield for the pre-show, and that floor of the stadium was so big that we were a long way from the ring where they had it set up for us to do the pre-show, and it was set up in a way that there were tons of fans that could come out and completely encircle the area that they had to do the pre-show in. So there were fans all around, and it was just starting 2 hours before the Rumble was supposed to start. So there were a lot of fans just standing there with nothing else to do, so they got to stand and be up close and watch the pre-show. There was a funny thing that happened during the pre-show, and I was. It was actually, when I look back on it, kind of funny, but I was. I don't know if you'd say I was definitely surprised, and when I think back on it now, probably pleasantly surprised, because I never thought, honestly, and I've done I don't know how many of the pre-shows, right? Mm-hmm. And everything is so busy and so hectic leading up right to the show. I mean, half the time they're still rewriting the show, or haven't finished with what is going to actually be on the show while we're doing the pre-show. So in my mind, I never once dreamed that Vince McMahon would be at all watching the pre-shows. I feel he's definitely busy with things that are going to be going on as soon as the actual show starts, right? And so everybody sits down at the table and we get ready to start, and I'm on the end seat, and then next to me is Booker, and then next to Booker is Beth Phoenix, and then Coach around the other side. And I had my crown with me, and I had the crown sitting between me and Booker, and Beth Phoenix, we had already kind of rehearsed our opening lines, and Beth Phoenix was going to say, "Oh, this is great for the Royal Rumble because look at the royalty. We have two kings here with us on the panel, right?" And so that had the crown sitting right there between us,
right?
And then so I think we had already done the opening of the thing, and all of a sudden, this was just crazy. I mean, I don't even know how. I had my phone. My phone was like sitting behind the crown where nobody could see my phone, but if I needed, I could use it or look down or text or whatever. And all of a sudden, my phone lights up. Has it on silent, but my phone lights up, and we're in like a little commercial thing where they're showing some B-roll or whatever. So I look at my phone, and I was like taken aback. I'm thinking, what does that really say? What I think? And it says Vince McMahon.
Oh boy.
I'm like, this can't be right. Vince McMahon, I'm on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon calling me, right? So
must be a butt dial.
yeah, I mean, it's got to be some kind of rib or something, right? So I press. I go, hello, and all of a sudden Vince goes, King. I said, yeah. He said, take your crown and move it from your right side over to your left side. And just like, I'm in shock, right? I pick my crown up and move it over to the left side. I said, like that? He said, perfect, thanks. And he hangs up.
What the heck?
I'm thinking, this is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Not only is Vince watching the pre-show right now, he's actually, he's looking at the pre-show in such depth and detail that he thinks he's looking there and he's thinking, damn, I think this would be a better shot if King's crown were not between him and Booker. If it was just over on his right side to, I think it'd be better.
So he must
calls me up. He calls me on the phone and tells me, move your crown from your right side to your left side.
So he could have just went in your ear, right? If you wanted to. Did you have an earpiece in?
Yeah.
So he must have been somewhere away from production, probably in his room or something.
Oh, I bet you're right. I bet he was probably actually in his office rather than up on the gorilla.
He probably had it on and was like, King, move that crown.
Yeah, I just think this would be a better shot. But I was just surprised because I just would have never thought that. It's just like he's checking out everything. I would have never thought that he would have to have the time to be watching the pre-show. I would have thought that he would have to be doing other things.
He could have just called someone else and went in your ear. Someone else could have went in your ear. Like, hey, Vince said, move your crown to your other side. He called you.
I know. I thought it was great.
So I
loved it.
He was betting on your phone being out.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
During the pre-show.
How would he know I would have my phone out during the pre-show?
I wonder if
Vince knows all. I'm telling you.
Maybe he saw your phone. Maybe there's a secret camera that Vince can watch from anywhere or something.
Have you ever noticed that about phones? Vince may be the guy. They say that may be Vince. You know how they say your phone is listening to you at all times. Have you ever done something like that? Like you're talking about something and all of a sudden a few minutes later something that whatever you were talking about will pop up on your phone, like trying to
on Facebook or Instagram. Like an ad will come up of what you were talking about.
Yeah, I think your phone is actually listening to you, and Vince may be listening as well. I don't know.
So I
be careful out there, folks.
I'm wondering if you didn't have your phone on you, or it's like in your pocket, you didn't answer it, what he would have done.
I don't know.
Next step would have been him coming down, move the crown,
get this crown out of here.
That's a good story.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
That's a good story.
Any other good Royal Rumble stories?
Well, like I said, you called the men's right. I got a little bone to pick though.
No,
not with you. With Corey Graves.
What's that?
As a fan, I have my own opinion and whatnot.
Yeah.
I know it's not originally your gimmick. Changing picks during the Rumble. I know the Brain did that. Before you, but people
he did.
Yeah, he did. Didn't he?
I don't know. I didn't know that.
I think he did. I think the Brain did that a couple of times, but people know that for you doing that during the Rumble when you called it during the Attitude Era.
Now you're calling that my gimmick, right? It's not my gimmick.
Well, whose gimmick is it?
I didn't know that. I didn't even know you would call that a gimmick. It's just like you're changing your pick. When your pick gets eliminated, you get a chance to pick another pick.
Or someone comes out that's better. Oh, that's my pick. That's my pick.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I've already done it. I never thought of that. I honestly really never thought of that as being my gimmick.
Oh, well, people, when Corey started doing it, like for the women's, people were like, "Oh, Jerry does that." Not Corey. And then Corey was doing that when you were sitting out there, right? You're sitting right next to him.
Right next to him. We're touching each other.
And I'm like, did he ask you for permission or whatnot? But,
well, I think I did see a tweet one time where somebody kind of called him out on that.
Yeah.
And he said, "I'm not." Something to the effect of, "I'm not stealing King's gimmick. I'm paying homage to one of the greatest." He's put me over. Right? Yeah. I'm paying homage to one of the greatest color guys ever in history, and I'm proud to call him my friend. So I don't think we don't look at something like that as stealing somebody's gimmick.
But that's your thing. That's like you're the main event, all right? And the finish is going to be your.
Yeah, but I'm not on there. Corey's on there all the time now.
Yeah, but you come on there as a guest. There's a reason why you're on there.
Well, it didn't bother me.
That's like someone like you're the main event of a show, and the finish is going to be a pile driver, but the match before yours
Does
a pile driver.
Big heat there. Now that's big heat.
Yeah, definitely. See,
and you know what? I mean, that and it's so sad. Now that's one of the major things that I see happening in this business now. Nobody, everybody in their match is looking out for themselves, and everybody is out there to go out and do everything they can in their repertoire for that match,
Yeah.
and there's no thought to say, how we got a 6-man tag here, and all we're going to do, everybody's going to fly through the ropes 7 or 8 times, and everybody's going to jump over the ropes, and everybody's going to be caught by 3 guys out on the floor, and then all of a sudden you got 2 guys like maybe AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan got to go out there after that and try to have a single match.
Yeah.
And to me, that's difficult, and I think it's I've always thought that was not good planning in the way that matches are laid out. There used to be a sort of a pecking order. I could swear that when I first started in 1971, there were a couple of matches on the card. If there were like maybe 5 matches, like the first 2 matches, you weren't even allowed to throw a punch. Mm-hmm. You had to just do wrestling holds, and then boom, in the 3rd match, all of a sudden, you threw a couple punches, and the excitement builds up.
Right.
And then, of course, by the time the main event gets in there, these guys do everything, and then the crowd's going crazy.
Yeah.
But that's definitely gone by the wayside now.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like the crowd, peaked a little bit early on, and they saw too much towards the middle of the show, and you could tell they were exhausted.
That was a long show. That was like 7 hours.
7 hours
if you
of wrestling.
included the pre-shows.
Yeah.
3 matches in the pre-shows. But the fans got their money's worth. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It was a good show. But you mentioned sitting beside Corey and doing the show with Michael Cole and JBL. It was a lot of fun. And I really thought earlier I was worried, man, it's going to be – it hadn't been too many times that I worked a 4-man booth.
Yeah.
3 is a lot. And that took some getting used to. But then 4-man was – I was just worried that's going to be tough. But it worked out really. Everybody I thought it worked out good. I thought everybody nobody stepped on each other too much, and it worked out well.
No, it was great. You guys,
I was great. I was real pleased that I got to. I think what everybody does when you're out there, it's like you try to one up each other in the fact that you try to make and you try to pop the other announcers,
right?
Like you try to make them laugh or something right where they and I got Cole and Corey. I couldn't really tell what JBO was doing. He was so far away, but I know I popped Cole and Corey a couple of times. Once where Cole even had to hit his cough button where because he was laughing so hard into this microphone.
It's called corpsing.
What's that?
You know the term corpsing?
No.
It's when you do something to break your fellow worker out of character, like to make them laugh.
Oh, corpsing.
Yeah,
wow, that's a bad term.
They call it corpsing, I guess.
Oh.
At least online, they call it corpsing. Like, oh, he made him corpse. He made him laugh. And corpse. But okay, the men's Royal Rumble. You had a lot of different lines.
Yeah.
You had your one-liners like you always do. Most of these were, making the rounds on social media. People, say, "Oh, this is my favorite line."
Yeah, right. That makes me mad too. What? I'm always happy. I mean, it makes me happy when somebody thinks enough of that they, want to retweet my lines or say, "Oh, here was my favorite one-liner from the King." But then I hate it when they retweet it and they get the line wrong and it loses the effect. And I'm thinking, my gosh, all these people that are reading this tweet are reading it wrong. That's not the way I said it, and it's not even funny the way it was rewritten.
So you're telling me people have tweeted out your line, but said it wrong?
Yes.
No.
Come on, that just happened.
You got a couple examples?
Just after Royal Rumble. Yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
He wrote these.
I
wrote these. Down.
I wrote these down because I'm thinking we are going to talk about this maybe. But yeah, one of the lines where when I saw Jeff Jarrett, and that was another great thing. We got to talk about Jeff Jarrett being there, man. Jeff Jarrett was the big surprise.
The only surprise
of the Royal Rumble. Jeff comes out, and I'm so happy. You know, I was so happy to see Jeff and have him come out, the old Double J character and everything. And I said one of my lines was, "Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how happy I'm so happy right now to see Jeff Jarrett. I'm so happy that tears are running down my leg." Mm-hmm. Right. And so just a little, play on words. It's not tears. It's you're so happy you've wet yourself, right?
Right.
But anyway, so this, and when I said that was one of the things that popped Michael Cole, right? He got a big laugh out of that. But somebody wrote, my favorite line of the Kings was when he said, "I'm so happy years are running down my leg." That just blows the whole meaning of the one-liner, right?
They're spell check people.
Yeah, that kills the whole meaning or whatever the line was. It's just when it's written wrong like that.
Well, the T and the Y on the keyboard are next to each other.
Oh,
and
probably just an innocent, honest mistake.
Yeah, right? But I mean, it's earlier in the tweet. You could have proofread. Oh, man.
Well, there was another one. There was another one too where they just changed. It was just like they just changed what I said. There was another one and this was no big line. But Corey says, what do you think somebody's chances are of winning the Rumble? And I said, and this is an old line. I said he has two chances, slim and none, and Slim just left town. Right? So somebody tweets out, they write, he has slim and no chance, and Slim just left. He has slim and no chance, and Slim just left.
Well, bless his heart for trying.
Do what?
Bless his heart for
bless
trying.
His heart. You are getting Southern, aren't you? Bless his heart.
He was trying.
You're right. He was trying. And I appreciate it. I really do. I like it when people appreciate the one-liners and like them enough that they made them laugh and they repeat them.
So Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett.
He was the only surprise in the Rumble.
Well, wait. What about my other line? My other line that really popped Cole, and this got me this got me a mention from Vince. Yeah, that was the only time he said anything to me throughout the night was when Baron Corbin was out there, and I said, nobody likes Baron Corbin. I said, well, his dog likes him, but then again, his dog eats his own poop. That's exactly what Cole did, and he just started laughing, right? And then about a second or two later, Vince comes on in my ear and goes, "King, you're on fire tonight." Which that makes me feel good, right?
Yeah.
That's like the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
So I was happy.
No, it was a great job. A lot of feedback on the commentary that you were on fire the whole night, and I think it was a good night for you.
I was happy.
It would have been better if you were in the Rumble, but
yeah, probably.
But how about Jeff Jarrett?
Poor Jeff.
21 years since he's been in a WWE ring.
No kidding,
21
really?
years, yeah.
My gosh, how time flies.
21 years.
My memory, is like not that great, but on some things, when you make a statement like that, and I just think about all the different stuff that JR and I called Jeff doing, and picturing it in the ring right now, the stuff that he did back in the day with China and all this. I would bet my house that it hadn't been 21 years.
21 years. I mean, they had the whole fiasco about the IC belt and him going to WCW towards the tail end of WCW.
Yeah, of course. But that doesn't seem like it's been 21 years, does it?
Yeah.
Does it seem like that long to you?
I
was
14.
Just a kid.
I was 14 years old. I remember watching, obviously Double J and WWE. But I mean, 21 years since he's been in a WWE ring. Because he went to WCW, and then he went to TNA, and then he was, with TNA, Global Force Wrestling for all those years.
Yeah.
And they just made amends with Vince. 21 years, man.
That's unbelievable.
We're getting to the point where next year is going to be 2020, and it's going to be, 1 decade, 3 decades ago of the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mentioned Jeff working those matches with China back in the day, and that brings to mind something else that happened in the Rumble. Nia Jax tangling up, we're tying it up with the guys.
I couldn't believe that when she came out and attacked R-Truth, and she started walking to the ring. I'm like, This is the stupidest thing I've seen in my entire life. They just had a women's Royal Rumble. You made a big deal about empowering women. They have their own Rumble. Now you're going to have a woman go in the men's?
Well, that is empowering women, isn't it?
Well, it turned out to be awesome.
Yes, it did.
As a fan, I thought it was stupid at first. I'm like, she's not going to win this.
Her first move, she and this got real heat for real.
Yeah.
She blasted poor R-Truth and knocked him face first into that wall.
Oh,
he
my
was hot,
God.
for real hot.
What is he going to do, hit a woman?
He was hot. Let me just tell you.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, they were having to hold him back there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, you just but anyway, I mean, she made it look good. It was very, very impressive.
So she goes out to the ring, and I'm like, she's going to win. Like, they're going to have a woman win the men's Royal Rumble. This is like the next step of empowering women. Like, you're going to have two ladies win both Royal Rumbles on the same night. This is where we're going.
See, I never had that thought, and I'm sitting there calling the thing. That thought never entered my mind.
I'm like, she's going to eliminate Braun Strowman. This is going to be ridiculous.
What? Do you really thought that?
I thought she was going to win, yeah.
Oh, no.
Somehow, some way, she was going to be the final person in that ring. Somehow, some way.
Well, that didn't happen, did it?
No.
But, I mean, it did empower her by the fact, I thought it was great when she went one-on-one with each one of those top guys now.
Yeah.
She went one-on-one with each one of them. She held her own and maybe even overpowered some of them.
Yeah.
But it finally took all the guys kind of ganging up on her to overcome her.
Yeah, well, she gave a block to Randy Orton,
Yep.
which set him up in the ropes, and she was telling Ray to do the 619. Ray goes off the ropes. She grabs Ray,
Yeah.
and she's going to throw him over the top rope, but she turns around into Ziggler giving a super kick.
Right.
And then you started laughing, the old Jerry Lawler laugh, the high-pitched giggle. Yeah, and then she you say, oh, she's staggered. Then she goes in the ropes. Ray does a 619 on her, and then she's up. She's wobbly, all wobbly, and then Randy Orton
Out of nowhere.
RKO out of nowhere. The crowd went wild for it.
Yes.
I thought it was great. Then she went over the top rope and she was done.
Yeah.
But I thought.
But I look. I think we both talked about this earlier. That's probably just the beginning with her, right?
Yeah. Well, then Monday she got in the face of Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
On Raw. Dean didn't do anything, but he walked away.
Yeah, I saw. Well, and Dean made his little interview afterwards. I saw him say, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that she tripped and fell into me because she did actually wind up having some physicality with Dean.
Yeah.
So,
but it wasn't to the extent of what she did in the Rumble.
no. So he said, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. But of course, she didn't trip and fall into it.
No.
So it's there's going to be more to that. To me, hey, that's fun. I think that's a
I love it.
story.
Yeah. But her getting an RKO and everything and thrown out, I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. That's like the moment of the Rumble, because before that there wasn't really a big moment of the Rumble. Usually there was three or four.
Well, the Jeff
of them.
Jarrett thing early on.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett coming out was a surprise.
And I thought that was going to be cool.
Yeah.
With them doing the duet, and I said this is going to be the greatest duet since Sonny and Cher, Captain and Teal. We're trying to think of all these duets.
I know that you can't do headshots anymore with chairs and objects, but it just seems like using a guitar on somebody, hitting them in the back, doesn't have the same kind of wow factor as hitting them in the head.
Now, do you think that was intentional?
Well, you can't use, you can't use chair shots to the head anymore.
No, not chair shots, but nobody said anything about a guitar.
Well, I don't think they want kids seeing that and kids smacking people over the heads with guitars, probably.
So you think he intentionally hit him in the back and busted over his back?
I think that was the plan. You can't hit anybody over the head anymore with anything.
Yeah, I guess.
I think the effectiveness of the guitar over the head would be better. He did say slap nuts on Raw.
He did?
He said slap nuts. I don't think you can say slap nuts on the air in 2019. But he did say that.
Yeah.
But I guess Jarrett's going to be as a full-time producer now. I guess he's going to be used for sometimes on TV. He was used on Raw. He threw punches and was a part of the Elias segment. He left in the ring on his own. But, I guess he's a full-time producer at WWE now.
You know what? Somebody had said to me after that, the only thing that might have made the little deal better at the Royal Rumble, and I'll let this little cat out of the bag because really nothing came of it, but a few days before the Royal Rumble, I got a call from talent relations in WWE, and they asked me, King, do you know your cousin's telephone number? And I said, my cousin who? They said, Wayne
Carl
Ferris,
Carl
right?
Fergie?
Yeah, I know Carl, sure. No, they wanted to know Honky Tonk Man's phone number. Yeah, so I'm wondering, how do they at the office not know Honky Tonk Man's telephone number? But, then Wayne is just like, he's his own guy, and he hasn't had a lot of contact. He hasn't really done anything in a long time with the WWE. So I don't know if there's bad terms, if they're on bad terms with him or what. But I had heard that they had asked him one time about being in the Hall of Fame and that he declined it. But that's just rumor. I don't know if that's true or not.
Why would he decline that?
I don't know. You gotta ask Wayne.
Just call him up.
Well, you know what? I don't have his number, and that's what I told him. I said I actually don't have his number, but you know what? I said I think Jimmy Hart has his number because the last time I actually saw Wayne was at a personal appearance, and he was with Jimmy Hart, and so I felt like that Jimmy may have his number. So I'm make a long story short, which is too late for that now, but I'm thinking what they probably wanted to do was have Jeff out there or have Elias out there, and then the other gimmick, here comes Jeff, the guitar guy, and then after that would be here comes Honky Tonk Man.
That's what I was thinking too.
Right? And but anyway, that's all I heard. I never heard any more. I don't know if they actually got in touch with him and he declined it, or if that was even the plan, or who knows.
Yeah.
But that's all I know is they called and asked for his number. I didn't have it. I put him in touch with Jimmy.
Yeah, that would have been great.
That would have been awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, first three of Elias, Jeff Jarrett, Honky Tonk Man battling it out with guitars. That'd been great. But
I'm sure they would have wanted. Elias to bust a guitar over. I mean, they would have had Elias come out on top of both of those.
Oh,
guys.
Definitely, yeah.
And that may have been one of the reasons that it didn't happen, right?
Yeah, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing the job for Elias. Who's this guy? Well, guess whose birthday is today? Jerry Lawler.
Not mine. Let's see. Wait a minute. Birthday is today.
This is the 30th of January.
I should know this?
I mean, it's relevant to the podcast, what we're going to talk about next. Yeah.
Not yours, is it? I'm sorry. I don't know. Look at it.
You think it was mine?
You just rolled your eyes out loud.
If it was mine, I would be upset.
I know.
But no,
but I promise you, and I apologize many times, but I am the worst. There's two things that I cannot remember. It's dates and names. I mean, I can't remember my own, certain dates on things in my life.
Okay, well, it's Becky Lynch's birthday today. Becky Lynch. What?
I'm supposed to know that?
Yes.
I'm supposed to know that today is Becky Lynch's birthday.
Yes, you should. No, I'm just kidding. But that's a good segue into our next
I see what you're doing there.
Little topic here.
Yeah, that was another cool thing about Royal Rumble, Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, the man.
That I'm not crazy about. Yeah. Her calling herself the man.
I don't either. I don't get it either.
There's too much mixing of the men and the women here.
Yeah.
What are we gonna? I don't know. But anyway, no, that was cool. Early on, before not long after I got there, all the different wrestlers and people are backstage and everything. All of a sudden, Becky Lynch comes almost like running up to me. Mm-hmm. And Becky Lynch is about like Ronda Rousey. In other words, I've seen Becky, said hi to her. It's a thing in WWE. Every time you see somebody, you hug the girls and you shake hands with the guys. I don't care if you just saw them yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before. Same thing. As soon as you see some, hey, how are you? Hug. Hey, how are you? Shake hands. And so I've done that many times with Becky Lynch, but never really had a conversation with her. I've not, other than just saying hi.
Right.
So all of a sudden, Becky Lynch comes running up to me, and she says, "I've been binge watching The King with her." Oh, you got to hear this in her accent, right?
Yeah.
"I've been binge watching The King for the last 2 weeks on YouTube." And I said, "What?" Look at you. The eyebrows go up. Ooh.
That's a compliment.
It is a great compliment, sure. But I'm thinking, and I asked her, I said, "You've been binge watching me on YouTube for what?" And she says, because she said, actually, Vince McMahon had told me not long ago that he wanted me to be more physical. And she said, I just thought, who throws the best punch in the business? And that's the King. And she said, so I've been watching you. I've been watching your matches for the last 2 weeks over and over. And then she says, how do you do it? And I said, that's a tough question, because it's not something that I ever really thought about how I did it. I just did it.
And
you
were never.
I told her, I said, "Gosh, Becky, I don't know. I just did it from. That's just the way I threw a punch from the time I started back in 1971. I just, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to tell somebody how you throw a punch.
You had a good mentor in Jackie Fargo, who threw.
Well, yeah, I mean,
punch
that's all you can do, basically.
Is
I think is watch somebody else, and when you see one that you like, and that's exactly what she was saying. She liked the way I threw a punch, and she wanted to try to emulate that. And I told her, I said, a couple things that I always thought, and when you think about it, it did come from Jackie Fargo.
Right.
I said, I would try to throw a punch sort of in the same way if you were in a real fight where you would hit somebody. If I would throw a punch like right at somebody's nose or right at their jaw or something like that, or their mouth or whatever. And I don't know. I said sort of, I would try to make my fist not be so rigid and hard as if I was, really going to try to knock somebody out. I would always make my fist into like a shock absorber.
Right.
And then I would throw that punch right where I, wanted to. But then I also explained to her, and I honestly think that this has something to do with it over the years. And I think it comes from my artistic ability, being an artist. And I explained that to her. She didn't even realize that I was an artist or that I did paintings or drawings or things all my life. And I said, that's something else you can't really teach somebody. You have to have that talent. And they say that artistic talent or ability is defined as an extraordinary coordination between your eyes and your hand. In other words, I can take a pencil, and with my eyes, I can look at your face, or I can look at, I can look at an object, and that coordination goes from my eyes down to my hand, and I can draw exactly or very close to what my eye is seeing.
Right.
And most people can't do that. And I think maybe, but where that comes into play, I think with my punches, is my eye is seeing exactly where I want that punch to land, without breaking somebody's nose or whatever, and then my hand is able to do it. So, and I explained that to her too, and she went, "Oh, well, that's not going to help me much because I can't draw." But anyway, it was a fun conversation, and I was flattered that she would, think that much of my punches, that she would want to try to emulate them. And then she did
on SmackDown. Where you and I were looking on our phones and came across a little snippet of her segment with Charlotte Flair on SmackDown, of Becky throwing a punch at Charlotte.
Yeah, Becky tweeted that out,
and it was
perfect. What did I say? I
Beautiful.
said I tweeted her back, and I said, "That's a Jerry Lawler punch if I've ever seen one." Mm-hmm. It was beautiful, and it was just a perfect, just a bam, straight in shot.
Yep.
And it looked like she knocked her lights out, and it was really good. And the other thing that I failed to tell her was that I've been fortunate with over the years is the person that you're hitting, selling the punch.
Yeah.
And, I was fortunate enough to work with a lot of great people and I've always told everybody, somebody told me a long time ago, the secret to a really great match is if you get two people in there that are each trying to outsell the other one. And that's the great, and for people that are just listening to this, when you're talking about selling, you are selling to the audience, you're convincing the audience that what your opponent has just done to you was, devastating.
Right.
And so that's and on that particular punch, Charlotte sold that punch perfectly, and it just made it look so great.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was great. So it's great to see her using the King's advice. and watching
No,
King
it
video.
was great to see her ask for the King's advice.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. I was very flattered.
Does that happen a lot?
Thank you, Becky.
Does that happen a lot? People coming up to you and asking?
I
you
have.
about advice?
That's probably the main question I've been asked over the years
punches.
by different wrestlers about the punches. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people say how to throw the fire. Somebody even tweeted out, "King next teach Becky how to throw the fireball and have it made."
That'd be great. It was good to see you at the Rumble, King. It was good to hear you on commentary. It was great to see you get a nice pop in Memphis. So it's been a nice month for you on WWE TV.
They got that contract renewal.
The contract, 2-year contract. You got a raise.
Did we even talk about that on here?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
You announced it on this on the podcast.
Yeah.
You got a nice little raise.
Easy now. Just don't go into too much detail.
Well, you told the local paper you got a raise, and you told them exactly how much you got.
No, I did.
Yes, you
Oh,
did.
excuse me.
I was like, "Whoa, Jerry!" Jeez. But no, it was great. It was great to see at the Rumble. I know a lot of people tweeting at our dinner with King, tweeting some gifs of you at the commentary table, getting a nice little pop, getting Jerry chance. So it was nice to hear you in commentary again.
Been a good, like you said, been a good month.
Yeah, and I was sitting here with Peyton was here, Lauren was here. We were all watching the Rumble together. It was great. It was great to see you, hear you do commentary. So
I'm the host with the most. I guess that's why, right?
host with the most. That should be your new tagline.
No.
I'm gonna get you a shirt that says "Host with the most."
Oh, please.
All right, King. So you got some events coming up, wrestling and not
I do,
wrestling.
man. Right away. This coming Saturday night up in is man. Is Saturday night already February?
Yeah, it's gonna be February 2nd.
Holy mackerel!
Then it'll be March.
Man, oh man. And then next thing you know, I don't have to take these Christmas decorations down. Just leave them.
Leave them up. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, February the 2nd, we are going to be doing our annual every year, and that seems like it just rolls around immediately. Every year we go up to Covington, Tennessee, and the Covington High School up there. We do a fundraiser for this one is for the girls softball team, and they really, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes like you'll do a lot of shows, a lot of independent wrestling shows are done as fundraisers.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do them in conjunction with different organizations. Schools especially use wrestling shows as fundraisers. But a lot of times, the people that will with the school, say for instance, if it's a high school, and they'll say, "Oh, all you got to do is just say, hey, we're having wrestling here and Saturday night, and it's going to be sold out." But that's not the case. Nowadays you got to really get out there and put the word out and let people know that it's going to be. And that's a great thing with the people at Covington High School up there. They really work hard. They get all their students involved, and they really get the word out all around town. And we always have a great crowd in Covington. And he's got a really good card up there this week, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it again. So everybody up around Covington, Tennessee, Dyersburg, all that West Tennessee area, come on out. The King is going to be at Covington High School Saturday night.
Who you wrestling?
Boy, I knew you'd put me on the spot like that.
I think is it Tommy Rich?
I think it's Tommy Rich.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh. That is really big. You're going to get to see some two old Memphis legends in action up there again.
I love Tommy Rich because at the Omen Arena you face it off against some beginning of January, and he's old school, dude. Like he has a table with some merch, but he doesn't come out and sign. He's old school heel, a guy that because your table was right next to him.
Yeah.
And it would have been weird to have Tommy Rich and Jerry Lawler, signing at the same time without you guys.
He's a bad guy.
Exactly.
He ain't going to come out and kiss babies and
So
sign autographs and stuff.
Some people wanted to, for his autograph, pay money for his autograph. So he would, during the matches, sneak out, sign a couple, go back.
Yeah.
Then 10 minutes later, come out, sign two, really come back. And I got one really quick. I was able to get one because I guess it's really rare that he does actually sign anything because he plays the character of the heel and does it to heart. So that's great. Cool. So we want to come out and see Tommy Rich and hopefully snag an autograph.
Yeah. And then the next day is Super Bowl Sunday. That's coming up this week. Hey, that's my line. Listen to you, Corey Graves.
The Browns and the Cowboys facing off.
That's next year.
Next year.
But anyway, yeah, we're gonna be down at Fitzgerald's Casino down in Tunica. We're gonna have a big Super Bowl party, and you and I have just been talking about all the stuff that's gonna go on down there. It's gonna be an all-day affair. The Super Bowl now has just turned into it's a super day.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts early in the morning. And now, of course, there's sports book. You were excited about that. You didn't even know that Fitzgerald's has sports book down there, right?
I didn't know Mississippi had
Yes, they do now.
sports gambling.
Yep. So you can come on down, and the sports book at the Fitzgerald's Casino is awesome, man. The tons. It's just like in Las Vegas, man. The tons of TVs and every kind of sport going on all the time, and every kind of line on any. You can bet on everything.
I'm gonna go broke.
No, maybe you win.
Maybe I win. Yeah.
Woo-hoo. So that's their theme. Luck lives here.
Oh,
That's where Luck
I
lives, down
might
at
live there.
Fitzgerald's.
I might move down there.
Yes. So anyway, we're going to be there. We're going to kind of kick our party off around 2:00, but we'll be down there all day long. We're going to do some super trivia.
Ooh.
I got some prizes that we're going to give away. I got some Super Bowl rings. Super Bowl rings.
Actual ones.
Actual Super Bowl.
They're-
they're beautiful. they're as actual as this ring I'm wearing right now. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful metal and stone rings of the Super Bowl rings. We're going to give some of those away if people can answer trivia correctly. What would be like a good trivia question about the Super Bowl? Can you think of something right off the top?
I mean, you can say, what team hasn't won a Super Bowl?
Oh my gosh, hasn't won a Super Bowl?
Hasn't been to a Super
Yeah,
Bowl?
hadn't been. Well, we would know right offhand. The Cleveland Browns have
Browns.
not. Is there other teams?
Yeah, there's a few. I think.
Yeah.
I can't name off the top of my head.
Here's the one that I may ask somebody. How many Super Bowls has Tom Brady lost?
It's 3.
You sure?
3.
He's lost 3. How many's won?
5.
Tom Brady's been in 8 Super Bowls?
This is be his 9th. Yeah,
Wow.
he's that good.
So anyway, yeah, it's going to be questions like that, and
Yeah.
you're going to win, and they're going to listen to this. This is going to everybody out there listening. Guess what the King is going to have at the Super Bowl party?
Oh my God, I don't even know this. What is it?
Free beer.
Free beer.
Free beer.
Free beer.
You
I
remember a
know.
long time ago at the Cleveland Stadium?
Oh.
This was the big thing. They had 10-cent beer night.
Yep.
10-cent.
And everybody
beer.
rioted on the
Had
field.
a big riot.
Oh my God.
Tore the stadium up. But so we want to do away with that. Forget the 10 cent.
Yeah.
It's free.
Free beer.
Free beer
And
at Fitzgerald's Casino.
$1 hot dogs.
$1 hot dogs.
$1 nachos.
$1 nachos.
$1 popcorn, I believe.
Woohoo! What a day this is going to be.
Oh my God. And you get the smooze with the king.
Smooth with the king and
You
hang
gonna
out.
bring some mystery boxes to hand out?
I may have some mystery boxes. We may have some merch on hand.
Some merch?
Can't ever tell.
That'll be fun though.
It's going to be fun. Really a lot of fun.
You can gamble while you're waiting for the game to start.
Yes.
And,
You were telling me that I guess there's also, what do you call those bets?
prop bets.
Prop bets. I'd never even heard of a prop bet.
Prop bets are just odd bets like will the national anthem go over a minute 17 or 2 minutes? 2
you
minutes.
can't bet on that. Who would you
Yes.
bet? Who would bet that with you?
Online gambling.
Well, we're not on land gambling. We're going to be at Fitzgerald's Casino.
Well, I'm
But
sure-
I bet
I'm-
you can bet things like
It's
who's going to
available.
win the coin toss
Well, yeah.
or who's going to.
That's what I'm saying. Those are prop bets.
Wow.
How long the "God Bless America" song will go. But like, if I'm singing the song, I would bet all my money on like the under and sing the song, right? I mean, you could do that.
Yeah, well, that's one person that's going to be doing that. You're not saying that the national anthem is rigged, are you?
I mean, you never know. You never know.
Never know.
But yeah, who's going to score first?
Yeah.
How is the first score going to be? Will there be a safety in the game? Will the game go to overtime? Will there be more than 5 field goals? Like stuff like that, you can bet money on.
Wow. Well, anyway, we'll be down there giving away some prizes and having a lot of fun and free beer. Of course, I don't drink, so that doesn't really.
I'll drink it for you, King.
I bet you will.
No, I don't drink.
Look, I'm looking at the TV. The TV is going on in the background there, and it says Senator Kamala Harris, Democrat from California, doubles down on her Medicare for All plan. Now, I hope she's got enough money in her pocket to pay for Medicare for everybody,
Oh, my God.
where everybody can have free health care.
But Kamala,
Yeah, that's cool about her, though. Her name is Kamala Harris. And, of course, we all remember Kamala, the Ugandan giant, right?
yeah,
And the funny thing this is so interesting to me, we named him Kamala, And the senator is named Kamala Harris, and Kamala's real name was James Harris.
Oh my God!
Isn't that funny?
You think her parents were a Kamala fan back
Kamala
in the day?
Harris. Jesus. Well, you know what? Kamala, believe it or not, I think the way we came up with that name, Jerry Jarrett and I were sitting in, I think I told this story before. It was pretty interesting. Anybody remembers the Kamala character that we had here? And it was back during the time that the president of Uganda was named Idi Amin, right?
Okay.
And Idi Amin, he's the president of this country now, Uganda. He was an admitted cannibal.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why we came up what we did. I'll never forget. I've got a National Geographic magazine. I opened it up and I'm looking for Uganda, and there was a city in Uganda named Kamala. So we grabbed that name, Kamala, the Ugandan giant, whose real name was James Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And now in 2020, there's going to be a candidate running for president named Kamala Harris.
But my question is, Jerry,
What's that?
does Kamala Harris have a banana painted on her belly? Jerry, why'd you paint a banana on my belly?
Why does you do that every night? It was a crescent moon.
Yeah, I
so-
know.
Anyway,
I guess he's not doing too good, James Harris.
we need to check on him.
We do.
We really do.
We need to get on the podcast.
Yeah,
That'd be
need
great.
to get him on the podcast. He'd be a good. I would love to hear James tell some of the great stories that he had. You know, when because before he became Kamala, he was wrestling as just a jovial Sugar Bear Harris, just a big lovable character.
Well, he was also known as a Mississippi Mauler,
Yeah,
Sugar Bear Harris, like you said, Ugly Bear Harris.
Ugly Bear.
Yeah. Bad News Harris.
Gosh.
I think everybody was Bad News after you made it,
Yeah.
made it famous. But yeah, he was the Mississippi Mauler.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, poor James has had both his legs amputated.
Jesus, yeah.
So
There was a quote,
yeah, we need to check on him.
a quote that someone taught to him recently, and he's like, "I'm just waiting to die."
No, not good.
So we need to get him on.
Yes, we do.
Need to get him on. All right, King. Any final thoughts?
Now that we brought everybody down with that, it was fun up till then. Any final thoughts? I'll see you. Come on, everybody, come on out and see us up in
Tunica.
Covington and at the Super Bowl party.
I have a final thought. We haven't done this in a while. How about everybody send us a photo of where you're listening to the podcast? We know like half the country is basically in an Arctic frozen state.
Ooh,
So
yes.
where are you listening to the podcast? Are you by a nice toasty fire?
Well, you know what? It's funny. Right before we started this, somebody sent me, or I looked on there, and somebody had just sent a tweet out that said, "I'm drinking coffee."
Oh,
and
yeah.
listening." Do you see that?
I saw it the other
They sent
day.
a picture of their coffee. I'm listening to the podcast and drinking some kind of coffee.
Dark roast.
Dark roast, yeah.
Fair trade. It's his name is Ruben, and he says, having my evening coffee while listening to Jerry Lawler's Dinner with the King with
Well,
special
thank you,
guest,
Ruben.
with special guest Jeff Jarrett. So I must listen to a past episode with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. That's another thing. A lot of people don't realize. I mean, I come across people every single day that I'll mention that they got a podcast, and they've never heard of it and don't know how to.
Yeah, they don't know how to
hear it. So, I tell everybody, and if somebody may be listening now for one of the first times, they can go back and listen to any one of our past podcasts, right?
Yep, we have 81 other episodes to listen to, from Jeff Jarrett to Terry Funk.
That's the guy, the Scotty guy that was at the club the other night. He said, "Oh, my favorite of all time is when you have Terry Funk on there."
Yeah.
We've got Terry on twice.
Twice. Cornette's been on twice.
That's what I told him. I said, Cornette's one of my favorites, too.
We had Cody on. We had a lot. Bret Hart has been on the podcast. So we had a lot of people, come on the show. Kane has been on the podcast.
Yeah.
So a lot of people with Memphis connections have been on the podcast. So you can go back and listen to all those episodes, binge listen.
Mostly, though, it's just me and Glenn here boring the heck out of people. Just talking to ourselves.
Well, you're the host with the most. It's your job to entertain. So
I know. I do my best. And then, look, Glenn gets mad if I ever say this.
Oh, my
podcast is boring.
God.
They're not boring. I'm just teasing.
No, you really mean that. I know.
No, I don't.
What's a podcast? What's a podcast?
I'm old school.
All right, final word, King.
Final word. I don't know. Well, I don't have a final word today.
You gotta have something to end the show with. Final word.
Man, the host with the most should know a final word.
Final word, King. Learn how to throw punch people.
I hope that you laughed so hard at this podcast you had tears running down your leg.
That's good. All right, make sure to send your photos to where you're listening to the podcast. We don't care. You can be on the loo. You can be in your car. You can be by a toasty fire. Send us a photo of where you're listening to this week's Dinner with the King.
The preceding show is a Pod Avenue production.
Greetings, wrestling fans. This is Dave Dynasty, host of the Dave Dynasty Show, the podcast that every week brings you nearly 2 hours of pro wrestling goodness from the Midwest. We feature interviews with the legends of the past, stars of today, and the prospects of tomorrow. We have segments that feature classic wrestling audio, whole episodes devoted to the history of Midwest pro wrestling, and much, much more. Do not miss an episode of the Dave Dynasty Show. We are available on all podcast platforms, or you can access past episodes and all of our social media links by visiting davedynasty.com. Be good, be safe, and keep on growing.